ball gets in, another wide open three.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the valley, it ain't nothing but a thing.
Welcome, everybody, to the Aussie Suns Fans podcast. I'm your host, Gavin, and we are joined today by everyone's favourite mudguts, Boyd. How you doing, Boydo?
I'm unreal, mate. I'm in denial, and fucking everything's fine.
Love it, mate. And, of course, our quasi-full-timer, and due to what we've seen over the last week, the man with the power of positivity. So we decided to bring him in for today's show. Justin, thanks for joining us, mate, all the way from Texas.
Oh, dude, I'm deep in enemy territory. Well, actually, really nowhere close to Dallas, to be quite frank. I'm closer to like, I don't know, some city in Mexico than Dallas. But at any rate, boys, thank you very much for having me on. And look, I think I might be positive to a fault to a degree. I recognize that. And I tried, even after last night, I tried to be like, look, fuck this. This isn't working. I can't do it, guys. I can't.
It's not a
quite
thing.
Confident still. It's just going to feel that much better when everything turns around and we win the
And
championship.
we were right. Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right. Do it the hard way. Nobody wanted this to be easy.
Yeah, dude. This would be no fun. If there isn't
No.
constant Twitter drama for the Suns, like, what are we doing?
Exactly right. It'd be a boring season. If we just swept through everybody, won the title, went to the parade, we'd all just be sitting at the parade going, well, we knew this was going to happen anyway. Yeah,
dude.
Who wants
You need
that?
You need pain. You need pain. I mean, not to say we haven't had
That's right.
fans, but a little more never.
Are you talking about campaign? We need campaign? A point guard?
Yeah, you know what? I'm not gonna lie. I was actually texting with Suns Geek, not too perhaps when we had our little what's the word I'm looking for? Our little plot, I guess you could say, with our fantasy league. The trade situation. I was texting with him. We were texting more about other stuff, and I was like, one dude that I wish this team had right now is campaign. I said that to him like 5 days ago, but at any rate,
It would have
different
probably
types
would have
of
been
pain,
handy.
all sorts of pain.
Probably would have been handy. But we will touch on that very, very shortly. Of course, we're coming off this week, the second of our watch parties. We did have the watch party up in Brisbane, in Boyd's native area, native land, native whatever you want to call it.
My home city.
His home city. Great turnout again. Thank you to those in Brisbane who did come along. Hope you all enjoyed it despite the result of the game. And unfortunately, it was over way too early. But we had a good time. We drank lots of beer. Boyd was drinking non-alcoholic beer, which was great. And
You remember that?
Did you not even know that yet? Did you know that?
Here's the thing. So that cunt that sprung that non-alcoholic beer on me shouted me a non-alcoholic beer. It was one of them fucking fluffy-looking cidery type beers that all the young people drink, all them fancy beers, and I fucking hate them. But I wanted the free beers to keep coming, so I took it and I started drinking it. I didn't like it, but I didn't say that because I wanted more free beers, right? So we get to this point, and he fucking one of the pricks fucking tries to lay a bet with me, saying, "Hey, something like, is that as good as fucking non-alcoholic beer?" And I said, "Mate, I've never touched that non-alcoholic beer, never have, never will." And he goes, "Oh yeah, you want to put a bet on that?" And then he showed me a fucking video of the whole setup. Anyway, it's fucking. I lost the bet, and then I had a bet from him.
So basically, Boyd was.
So you were so drunk you didn't realize that the dude switched you to non-alcoholic beer.
But it was a beer I've never had before.
Dude.
It was a fruity beer I've never had before. and I'd never tasted it, so I didn't know what to expect.
So basically,
alcoholic on it.
the guys came up to me. The guys came up to me and said, "Boyd hasn't shouted all day, but we're getting a so we're going to our next shout. We're going to buy him a non-alcoholic beer and see whether he notices." And then he sat there. He to his credit, he was kind about it, even if it was rubbish. He sat there and drank it all.
It was a murky, horrible fucking beer.
See, Boyd's a nice guy after all. It's just all a facade. That's what it is.
Yeah, so that was good fun anyway.
It wasn't like a pint, so that's why you couldn't see what beer it was, right? Like, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
It was so it was kind of like off orange colored, murky, and I just don't like that type of beer, and I didn't want to say anything, and that I was like, this is a horrible tasting beer, but I didn't say it, so yeah, I kind of I want to say that I knew deep down in my soul, but
But you didn't. You did.
Well, you know what's funny is like, okay, so like I don't drink and I've never even had non-alcoholic beer. Like I've seen them and I'm like, why? Like, what am I gonna?
Yeah, what's the point?
Like I'll have a Diet Coke. That sounds much better than a non-alcoholic.
I'm not bloated for this shit.
Yeah, exactly, dude. Come on.
But it was great fun. So thanks to everyone who came out. The guys we had. Yes.
On that watch party, it was 2 days before Christmas. It was really, really cool. It was really, really cool to get that sort of a turnout. I think we had between 20 and 30 rock up there.
Yeah.
You reckon? And it was only like a small little area. Yeah, it was only a small little area that we had, but it was 2 days before Christmas. And some of the guys that were actually there, there was a couple that I was talking to, because it's at the front of that shopping centre, they actually had to go do Christmas shopping. Like,
yeah, that's right.
Before or after the watch party. So yeah, some people moved some stuff around to be there and really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun, and Merry Christmas.
And of course, our next one will be on the 3rd of February, out at the Sporting Globe in Sydney. So Sydneyites, start to prepare mentally for what's going to be your first watch party and the third in our series of watch parties. So we're really looking forward to that. Let's touch on this week. Obviously, not the greatest week. It started okay. Well, it kind of didn't start okay, but did. We had a 112-108 win against Washington. It was a very, very ugly win, but we had the win. Then we travelled to Portland and lost to DeAndre Ayton. Came back to Sacramento and got absolutely pounded while everyone was in Brisbane watching together. And then, of course, yesterday's debacle against the Dallas Mavericks on Christmas Day. Boyd, how'd you see the week?
I thought it was shit house, mate. Should have lost to the Wizards as well. You look at that Wizards game. What was it? We shot 23%, and then against the Blazers, we backed it up with 22%, and against the Kings, we were at 20%. From 3-point land. So we didn't deserve to win any of these games. We weren't hitting shots. We weren't there was no connectivity in defense. It was really, really frustrating. And yeah, you know, look, we ultimately, our only win this week, we got lucky because a shit team remembered that they were shit and got shit again. and we only just scraped in and won that one. So fuck me. Yeah, Blazers that really hurt. The DA, I'm not missing him at all, but that's a matchup that I look at and one that I want to get, especially for Nurk and Little, playing against their old club. That was a fucking piece of shit game. The Kings, man, considering I was quite tipsy before tip-off, and I was quite pissed. I think throughout the game, and I found myself in the third quarter running off to grab a fucking kebab and smash that down while watching from afar, and it just became. I was uninterested. I was uninterested in my team after the fucking run that we've had recently. I was uninterested in seeing us just get fucking annihilated and seeing people not care on the court on either end. And it's really demoralizing now. I'm still wearing the jerseys. I've got another one for Christmas. I still love the team, but it's just demoralizing watching the effort that they're putting out there, the half-hearted fucking nonsense that we're copying. Jump straight into the fucking Mavs, and I thought to myself, okay, here's one, boys. Here's one where it's a grudge match, right? It's Luka Doncic. Let's fucking get him. Let's turn things around right now. If ever there was a time on Christmas fucking Day over there, Boxing Day here in Australia, this is a game that we can dig deep, find something, and just get that fucking ball rolling. And it didn't happen. And largely, you look, and I don't know, Gav, I just want to spit out 2 stats from this game that are just absolutely mind-boggling against the Mavs. We got, and I know I'm going on a bit. I know I am, and I'm sorry. But Grayson Allen, he was 12 from 22 from the field. Book and KD combined, 10 from 25. Now you got your role player there, carrying the load, and you've got your 2 megastars, your 2 leaders, just fucking shitting the bed right there on Christmas Day at home. It was at home, wasn't it, Justin?
Yeah, it was.
At home. And the guys at halftime were teasing the Phoenix Suns for their effort, and rightly so. I'm welcoming all this shit right now, and I'm hoping that every single player on this team fucking pricks the ears up and listens. All the national pundits, the fucking talking heads, the bloody opposing fans, fucking get into the Phoenix Suns and their performance every single time, every chance you get. But the other one, our entire starting lineup, 23 rebounds. And Chemezi bloody Metu comes in with 19. He nearly out-rebounded our bench guy, who gets a game here and there. He nearly out-rebounded our entire starting lineup. And so what I'm saying here is that if that role player in Grayson Allen and Metu didn't come out and just have phenomenal outlier games, we're looking at a 30 to 40 point drubbing at the hands of the Mavericks at home on Christmas. Like, fuck, come on, man. I'm gonna cut it right there because I can keep waffling, as you know, but I want to hear what you guys think about some of that stuff and fucking get into it.
Justin, can you tell us your thoughts, please?
I'm gonna start at the Mavs game because I think it's kind of how do I put this? Okay, Boyd, you bring up that that KD and Book only took 25 shots combined. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
So in the games prior to that, though, and that's how I was looking at the box scores from the games earlier this week. Each game this week, those guys took each at least 24 shots. Okay, in each game. Book said after the game yesterday, in terms of them not getting, him and KD not getting looks, that it was big part was the defensive scheme that the Mavs threw at them, right? And that's something that I think going into the season we expected to see. You know, teams are going to throw stuff at Book and KD. They're going to try to take them out of the game. We need role players again to step up and do something about it, right? We saw Grayson do that yesterday. We saw Metu do that yesterday, but we didn't see other guys do that, right? And that's when games like that happen. We need these role players to step up and fill the roles that they need to fill, right? And again, let's look at Eric Gordon. After the comments this week, he goes 2 for 7 from 3. And there were some open looks in that game that he definitely missed, right? We've got, who else? Okogie, Jesus Christ. I've tried and I've tried and I've tried to believe that this guy can turn into somebody that can actually shoot a 3 on a consistent basis. Remember, last year he had that 25-game stretch where he shot like 40%. I don't know how he stumbled into that, but it's quite clear that that's not coming back, I think, at this juncture. And the stroke's there because it's happened, but I think it's a mental thing with him. 0 for 3 from 3. Who else do we have? Nobody else. I mean, Little and Azabu. Okay, Azabu, you forget him. Little only played 3 minutes. Goodwin, I think also a problem, right? And I think that's where a lot of this is the bench players. These role guys, when KD and Book had taken out of the game, or even the fourth quarter, you know, we talked about the game yesterday. Yeah, the effort wasn't there the whole game, but we walked into the fourth quarter with a fucking lead.
Yeah, I know.
We were winning that game.
We were losing. We were losing all game, and then the third quarter we had the turnaround, and it was looking good. And it was like, okay, we got a little bit of care factor here, and we just got a lead like that. But
that's what's kind of mind-boggling about this team to me, and you can see that in I think it was the Wizards game too. Was that the game this week when they played like a fucking flawless first quarter, and then after that it was just like let's shit everywhere. I think it was that game until, like you said, the Wizards forgot that remember that they were a terrible team. It's these little portions of games, I feel, that torpedo the entirety of the game for the Suns, and that's what they have to figure out. And frankly, I think that's what, when Book says that they got to figure things out like that, I think that's what they're referring to. And that's part of why I still can't find myself losing my optimism in this team, because
no, look, I've got a question for both of you guys. A little bit later on, but that the Kings game, the game prior, Book only he was super efficient on 10 from 14 field. KD was up over the 20, I believe, but I think that's a part of the problem. And it feels like, and I don't want to say it, but there's times when you want your stars to push the envelope and take more into their own hands, and there's times that you want them to defer and get other guys going, get the other guys some rhythm. The way that we're choosing our spots and choosing our times to assert them, the way they are choosing the times to assert themselves, just seems like it's all out. And when they do, it's not done in the spirit of the offense. It's done in a fucking terrible ISO force shot,
too much ISO
bullshit way. It is. It's if they got up fucking 25 shots every single game each, I would not have an issue, as long as it was done in the right way, in the sense that they're getting to a good shot, they've got movement around them. It's just nothing is working, man. Nothing is working, and the moment one thing starts to work, three other things fuck off and just leave their game. It's mind numbing.
Mind numbing is a good way of putting it.
Yeah, apologies.
Where'd you go, Gav?
Apologies, lads. My computer had decided to have a complete and utter meltdown there. I think even it was pissed off about the game. But so I missed most of what Justin said, but I'm sure that you gave us a fantastic wrap up of your frustration. I'll catch up on that later. For me, I think the signs were there for the Washington game. We played just so poorly. We got over the line, which was great. Portland was horrible. Even look, I don't want to go back and spend too much time. I think Boyd took up most of that time. The biggest issue for me was the Dallas game yesterday. To go in down 10 at halftime, I think it was 10 or 11 at halftime. That in itself was phenomenal. We were being that badly outplayed at that stage. We closed the gap, got in front, which was fantastic. Grayson Allen turned into prime Klay Thompson, I think I heard on Suns Jam, and started draining threes left, right, and center. We hit the front, which was great, but the last quarter just seemed so empty. I don't know what it was, and we'll talk about a couple of specific things in a minute, but I just want to keep moving on from there. Out of those games, though, guys, Boyd, who was your player of the week?
My player of the week, and it's going to be, Metro, and just on recency bias, Metro was brilliant, but it's going to be Grayson Allen, because he's honestly been the most consistent. I don't give a fuck if KD goes out and scores 40 one game, 30 the next, and 28 the next. I don't fucking care, man, because what he's there to do is to be a leader and lead by example, and he has not been doing that at all. Grayson Allen has come in and played his role like a true champion, like a leader, and he's gotten me excited more than any of the other guys, and I think he's instilled more into his teammates as well, as a leader than any of these other guys. So Grayson Allen for mine.
Justin.
I gotta agree. I think it has to be Grayson Allen. I mean, on top of what he did yesterday, earlier, every game this week, just you say consistency. He scored 11 points in every game this week, except for the one yesterday when he scored 32. 9 boards against Portland. Had 4 boards at least in every other game. I mean, he does exactly, when I say role players doing what they're supposed to do, Grayson Allen epitomizes that for this team right now. He has throughout he's had those games when he's been off, and even this week, his 3-point shooting earlier in the week wasn't great. But he keeps shooting because that's what he's here to do. And he shot himself out of it, and he had a huge game yesterday. So yeah, I think it has to be Grayson, if anything, because everyone else kind of, yeah.
Like that.
I mean, KD, we know it's funny we say that, but KD had throw a fucking 40-point game this week too, and we're just like, nah, big deal, fuck that. Like, and maybe that's part of being spoiled of having KD on the team and expecting that. But it's kind of hard to say that when we're also in the midst of a losing streak. And can I say too, we're what, a week and a half removed from losing Bradley Beal again. I was at that game, man. I was at that game with my kid, which really sucked. But well, it was great being there with her, but it sucked that Bradley Beal got hurt when she was there. But dude, that arena was dead silent. The bench was obviously concerned. Let's not understate too what kind of general impact just the deflation of losing him again for an extended period of time can have on the team. Like, I'm not making excuses. The teams look like garbage, but at the end of the day, that kind of shit does come into play, I think. I'm not sitting here saying anyone's told me anything, but human nature.
Yeah, a little bit, but
Yeah,
okay. So if you've got 100% of our problem here, that Bradley Beal side of it, 100% of the problem is here. That Bradley Beal thing, I think, is 10 to 15% of the actual issues. There's a lot
But
more.
everything snowballs, my friend.
That's a steep fucking hill. It's snowballing there. It's fucking, there's a lot.
Yeah, it's look, Grayson. I'll go with Grayson like you guys do, but again, outside of yesterday, and it's probably, let's be honest, it's the emotions of yesterday's game that probably drive all of this. But because KD was our best player until yesterday, but there was just elements of yesterday's game that frustrated me so much that I can't give it to him. And we'll talk about very shortly why I don't think we should give it to Devin Booker. And just a shout out though, we do Player of the Week, but I want to give a shout out to one guy, which is Chimezie Metu, who, when you're talking about you're coming in and playing a role, that's precisely what he's doing as well. He's coming in, he's playing his role, and he was actually really solid on defense yesterday, which is what everybody was concerned about with Chimezie, that he would struggle defensively. But I thought he did a pretty good job most of the time of staying in front of his opponent. I mean, let's be honest, we had a bit of a debate in the Aussie Suns chat about Grayson Allen and his defensive prowess earlier today, and the fact that he
I haven't seen it yet.
gave up 32 points to Luka, and someone in there wanted to tell us that he was the shittest defender and shouldn't be on the floor, despite the fact that he was outstanding yesterday. And nobody on that team could stop Luka. But Grayson and Chimezie stayed in front of the dude. He just wouldn't miss. So, I'll shout out to Chimezie, but we'll go with Grayson Allen. Here's one, Justin, for you first. Are you worried about the 3-point shooting slump? Grayson sort of fixed it a little bit yesterday, but overall, we went from top 10 in the NBA for 3-point shooting to 20th or whatever we are now, all in a week and a half.
Yes, I guess. Am I worried about it? No, not yet. Is it bothersome? Yes, it is. And I think Evan was the one you threw a comment up about. I think Evan was the one that said about Okogie being like the most wide open shooter. Yeah, there you go. I was actually thinking about this yesterday and looked up some stats myself in terms of the team as a whole, because I feel like there's obviously been this fall off on 3-point shooting, but you still have a guy like KD. I don't know if he's still leading the league, but at one point was, and he's like 47%. And this brings me back to kind of the role player thing. What I did, I was looking at what our guys did last season when we had either open or wide open threes versus what our guys are doing this year in those circumstances. When I say our guys, I mean mostly those bench players. So last year, and bear with me here because I'm trying to flip through pictures as I'm doing this. Last year, our low when we had wide open threes, right? Wide open meaning 6 feet, 6 feet of space or more. We had one dude, everyone's favorite Aussie, Jock Landale, shooting 29% on wide open threes last year. That was the lowest percentage on the team. The next lowest was 34.6%, right? This season, wide open threes, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys shooting under 36% on wide open threes. And those guys are Utah, Okogie, KBD, Nurkic, and Metu. Now, Metu, we just talked about, he hasn't been really getting a whole lot of time recently. He's starting to get a little bit more. Maybe that changes a little, but that's the kind of thing where you just can't have your role players performing that poorly in scenarios where, especially a guy like Utah has been brought in to be a shooter.
To do exactly that.
The same type of trend is there when you talk about just open threes, that being 4 to 6 feet. Last year or this year, we've got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys shooting under 30% on those. And last year we had 3 guys shooting under 35% on those. Sorry, trying to scroll through pictures. But anyway, point being,
yeah, sorry, no, you go.
I was going to say, just point being, the fall off on 3-point shooting across the board when you talk about the role players that are supposed to be making those is, again, I think one of the big things that's holding this team back. And that slump that we're talking about, I don't think it's a slump with those guys. Those guys have been like that, it seems like, all year. The slump is because guys like KD and Book haven't been hitting them as consistently as they have been throughout the year. But that kind of shit needs to get figured out, needs to be fixed, or they need to move away from those guys taking those shots and figure out something else offensively so they can actually score the fucking ball.
Can I
And that I think that's really an important point, because if we look at the most outside of Grayson Allen, let's remove him at the moment. I mean, I know he struggled earlier in the week, but he was fantastic yesterday, and generally over the course of the season shot the ball pretty well from three. The only other person that I'm confident seeing take a three at the moment is Chimezie Metu, and that's a concern. These other guys were brought in to do that and to spread the floor, and if they're not going to be able to lift that, and I know I see in here Utah's absolute arse. Utah better be gone. Utah's a better shooter than what he's displayed so far, and it's clearly a confidence thing right now that is impacting him. And if he can get that right and come in and hit his 3 threes in a game, and some games hit 4 or 5, it's going to change the way that we play completely at the moment. Opposition defenses are just able to clog down on KD and Book at the moment because they know that our outside shooters just aren't going to hurt them. Boy,
we are currently giving up wide open threes after seldomly the times that we do run some offensive set to get a guy on the perimeter, they're pump faking and they're taking it to the fucking rim, then they're changing their mind, then they're whipping it back out again. We've got fucking 10 seconds left on the clock. There's a lot of it's already disorganized, and you're right, it's confidence. Everyone's got the fucking yips. Another thing, we're shooting it bad, but we're also not shooting enough. And it's because we're just because there is so much so many cases of the yips, it seems. You watch our open guys on the perimeter and the amount of times that they just fucking flick it out or they pump fake, and then the defense is set again. And you just fucking undo all the fucking hard work. And Metu, and you're right, Gav, Metu seems to be the only guy that when he gets it and he's got a meter of space, he's letting it fucking fly. And even if they miss, I love that, because it's the way that it's set, the way that it's meant to be for that play, and it just doesn't hurt as much. But the guys Damian Lee went through a period last season where he was one of the best 3-point shooters at the start. Then he changed that and he tried to add something to his game and started taking it to fucking, pump fake and taking it into the hoop. But and he just lost all of his value. Like, these guys need to know the role, and they need to shoot it even if they're not fucking hitting it. They need to shoot it when they're open and they're fucking being set up for it. Otherwise, you're not doing your fucking job, and we just need to fuck them off. If I'm being honest, it's But yes, and you said before, Justin, that yesterday we came good again from 3, and it seemed like that, but we shot 34% yesterday. We shot 34%, which is under. It's well under league average. What is it? 36, 37% at the moment, league average from for threes. But yeah, so look, and that was entirely on the likes of Grayson Allen and Metu shooting it really well. So yeah, look, I'm not worried about our 3-point shooting in the long run, but right now, when we've got all these compounding issues defensively and offensively, I'm worried about it right now. Like, we need that to stop to help get us out of this funk.
Yes, I think it's clearly frustrating. It's not only frustrating for us, but it's clearly frustrating the players as well. And this leads into one of the things that really frustrated me in the second half of yesterday's game. And I think we've seen a trend, particularly over the last 2 weeks, of this as well. Why is Devin Booker now deferring on shots at the bucket? He seems to be penetrating to the basket and trying to throw a kick-out pass to a 3-point shooter rather than just hitting layups, some of them which he's already passed the defense, and it'll be a wide-open layup. I think there's been a clear change in the mindset of Book having to run the point at the moment to try to be that distributor to get some guys going, rather than that single focus mindset he had of him putting the ball in the bottom of the bucket.
Yep.
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think it's Book going, I need to get these guys going because we need these guys to be going if we're going to win. And obviously, look, if they're hitting the shots, then we're not having the conversation, right? But they're not, so we are. And I think we can agree. I don't know if I want to go this far, but I will. I think we can agree that Devin Booker is more than capable and, in fact, a very good point guard. I don't
Agree,
know
100%.
I don't know that I want him playing it anymore. I don't care that he can do it. I don't care that he can excel at it if he does it long enough, because ultimately it's not the best spot for him on the squad. But as the roster is constructed, we really don't have a fucking choice, do we?
And I think that's a good point. From my perspective on that, is it's more about the mindset change than what he can actually do out on the floor. It just seems like he's playing a different style of offensive basketball, playing the point. And we all want the Devin Booker that we've grown to love over the last few years, and that's the strangest part to me, because he still, and last year it was the same, he still ran the same sort of offenses, but his first focus was to put the ball in the bottom of the basket, because Chris Paul played a lot of off-ball basketball last year. Mm-hmm. Book had the ball in his hands. So he's still doing that. It's just that, like, calling himself the point guard, he seems to be deferring now. And I'm with you. Take him out of that role and make Eric Gordon dribble the ball up the floor. I don't care who dribbles the ball up the floor. If we can put Book off the ball so that he's moving on offense, catching the ball and actually penetrating and putting the ball in the basket again, that's what we want to see from Book. This dude could easily still average 30 points a game and 7 to 8 assists playing in that role, rather than at the moment just not. We need that mindset to reset.
There was a little purple patch earlier this season, and Gavin, we got on a pod shortly after that spurt and just praised Booker and making his teammates better, and he's still doing the same thing. The problem is that he's just got indecisiveness from his role players at the moment, and nothing is fucking. They're not falling, and half the time they're not taking them. So, and earlier this season, it looked really nice. I mean, Book was racking up 15, 14, 13 assists here and there, and it looked really, really cool. And it was like, okay, positionless basketball. But when you have your entire support cast being so patchy and doing the things that they're doing, I mean, yeah, Book, yeah, probably feels that he needs to keep being unselfish, but a penny's got to drop with him, and he's got to go. He's got to go.
But he was
back.
doing that. He was doing that and scoring 34 points a game. So we still saw Armani mode kick in, and we still saw the guy putting the ball in the basket, but picking up those assists as well. At the moment, the mindset of pass first for him is now making defenses collapse just around him. And everybody's they're more than happy for these guys to sit in the corner and shoot their rubbish shots. Book can still have 10, 12 assists a game and score 30. He's proven it already. So it's just a mindset thing.
I think it's but when it's not working, he's making it a decision to keep on pushing it. He wants to break the camel's back. He wants to get that guy going, and he wants to get things rolling again. And you're right. It needs to stop. I'm at the point now where it was only a few episodes ago I said no, TJ McConnell is not the answer, but I feel like now we need a TJ McConnell type just to get the ball out of that playmaking role out of Devin Booker's hands and let him go back to his alpha position at the 2 spot. And also we can stop seeing fucking Durant handling it so much and giving up 6 fucking turnovers every single game as well. That'd be nice.
Well, just on that last person you touched on, did KD check out of the second half, maybe let's say last quarter of the game yesterday? Did it seem to you like he checked out? Or did it seem to you that he went, well, they're just running doubles at me, I'm just going to play decoy for the last quarter?
I'm not going to say he checked out. I think that's absurd. I mean, we just talked about how up until yesterday he was the best player for the team this week, right? We talked about how he had a 40-point game earlier this week. We spent 4 years watching DA look aloof on a basketball court, and I didn't once say he checked out. I'm not going to start saying KD checked out because he looked aloof for half a quarter. I think it was one of those situations where exactly like you're saying, Gavin, he saw what was going on, and it was just one of those where maybe he didn't check out. Fuck it. Maybe he did. Maybe he checked out for half that quarter. It is what it is. Does that mean that he's checked out on the team, like everyone seems to think?
Yeah.
That's and maybe that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is like everybody has moments in life, right, where it's just like, fuck this. Maybe KD did have one of those moments for a brief stint yesterday, and if he did, so fucking be it. He's a goddamn person, right? But at the end of the day, the dude still wanted to be here. He still wants to be here. Did you guys see the Instagram?
Yeah, I saw his
thing
Instagram.
Yeah. So
what was it? Tell me. I didn't see it.
Let's fucking cut the bullshit and stop talking about KD and his desire when we're basing that all off of supposition and fucking Woj. Here, I got you, boy.
Yeah, so basically Woj said that he was frustrated, and someone on Instagram, can't remember who it was, basically put up a post saying KD's checked out of Phoenix and wants out. And KD responded and went,
cheese on Instagram, in case you were wondering.
There you go, fat cheese on Instagram. KD responded to it and went, so by somebody saying that others in the organization said I'm frustrated is now become, for you guys, has now become me checked out and wanting out of Phoenix. But if you ask the coaches and my teammates what my mentality is, it's the complete opposite, but you'll never, ever report on that.
Yeah, that was actually very, very well paraphrased. Here, I'll read it
good.
because I feel like the KD fire behind it. He was high as fuck. There's no fire there when you're high as fuck when you write this shit. But anyway, he says, Woj says somebody else, quote, feels that I'm frustrated, and it turned into me being mentally checked out. This shit crazy. These people can flat out lie on my name and make shit up, and you people will believe it. But when my teammates and coaches speak on how I am as a teammate, you ignore it. LOL. And that's exactly what it is. I mean,
Good.
It's like stupidity at the most obvious form, right? Going, oh, so and so says that he heard that so and so says this, and then the fucking person that he's talking about comes out and says that's bullshit, and you go, man, no,
Yeah.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you know, person who that was said about?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and
Um,
I'm going to go on
Yeah,
the
go,
same
bud.
line, the same line of thinking. Where I don't think he's checked out on the team or the season or any of that sort of stuff. I think for that last quarter, he seemed to be barking at the officiating crew a lot during the game
Which
yesterday.
is strange for KD, right? He doesn't do that a lot.
That's
It like,
that's because Natalie Sago should not be anywhere near a fucking basketball
I'm
court,
guessing
let
that was
alone
one of the refs. I'm guessing that was
yeah.
one of the.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was the
I'm
one that
gonna say, Natalie, you are really bad, and
yeah.
that's just as a basketball referee, uh, really really bad. The inconsistency at each end of the court is the frustrating thing for me, and it's just so bad.
I saw Book getting frustrated with her as well. I'm not on a first name basis with her. I don't know any of their fucking names except for Foster. But yeah, look, I think he did check out of that fourth quarter though, and you could like there was multiple plays where he didn't on defense. He was right in front of a player taking a shot in his face and he's let it go. Didn't jump, not even the arms raised. There was fucking nothing there. It was just like, okay, this is just going through the motions now. And I think he was pissed off. I think he was pissed off at a lot of the things that they probably talk about before the game at halftime during practice. I have no doubt in the world that they're saying we need to bring more hustle. We need to do this more. We need to stay on our guy. When we switch. I have no doubt that they're talking about it and trying to address it at training. But if he's in a fourth quarter and he's doing all he can, and he sees none of this shit that they're talking about happening, yeah, I can tell. I think he might be frustrated with certain instances. But yeah, no, not on the team, not on the whole season. But yeah, he was timid in that fourth quarter yesterday.
Yeah, and look, I think Justin, you mentioned it perfectly. I just think he was having one of the. He got to a point in that game where he was just so frustrated, potentially with his own performance, potentially with the team's performance, whatever that case might be, that it just got to him yesterday, and his body language wasn't right, and his effort wasn't right. But I don't expect, and it's comments like this, Coda Kid, we love you here, but KD is not the new DA. When you're not going to see KD sulking for every game of the year. I think it was just an aberration, and I think you'll actually see DA come out in. Is it tomorrow we play?
KD, not DA.
KD,
No,
sorry.
Just let him go.
Tomorrow's
maybe
game.
DA will do something tomorrow. Who knows?
Yeah, he something tomorrow. I think KD will. I think we'll see a bit of a masterclass from KD tomorrow. I think he's going to put the foot down. We spoke about, Boyd, you brought it up before, defensive schemes. Why don't we run defensive schemes? Opposition teams run doubles at KD and Book, and yet it just looked like we were more than happy just to switch up and leave Eubanks on Luka. Then Chimezi on Luka. We barely ran any doubles at Luka at all.
We actually no. Well, here's the thing: we started running doubles at him at the right up the top of the play, and it was a lot of the time it was Grayson Allen and Eubanks. You're right there, Chimezi a few times, but there were doubles hitting him, but it was just half.
Okay, so and that's the point. So when I say doubles, so this is where I'll give Grayson a little bit of stick for his defensive things. When he was playing and he had, it was Eubanks and Chimezi, he'd follow, they'd do the switch, he'd half follow to the foul line. And it was a lot of the time Derek Lively. He'd follow Derek Lively to the foul line and then decide to go up and double. by then he's allowed Derek Lively to go in under the basket, and Luca was able just to continually throw the ball in there. Plus, he's not getting to the double in time. We don't make the decision on the double when the screen comes, which is when we should be making the decision. Don't leave that. Let Lively roll, and we should have somebody on the baseline rolling over to cover that cut. Is there? I guess what I'm asking is there a gap in our defensive schemes at the moment? I mean, clearly we're not playing good defense, but is there gaps in our defensive schemes at the moment? Are we not working on that side because we just think we're going to outscore teams?
We've got a couple of players. Like there was even a couple of plays where Okogie, being how terrible he was offensively, he got right up in Luca's shirt and just fucking was all over him like a rash. And Luca I could see him fucking his cheeks getting red, and he was about to throw a tantrum because someone was right up on him, and he's just not used to it. This game in particular, but they were. When one player did it, it wasn't doubled down. There was two other players that weren't moving with their play, and it just became the whole defensive scheme was all in vain because of it was never the whole lineup fucking putting effort in. It was always just one guy here and there in a spurt for half a play. It's so there's glimpses of what it should be, I think. But there's no consistency in the way that it's thrown out there. And I don't know if it's because of the chopping and changing in the lineups that we've had so frequently, but some of it honestly, to me, just looks like fucking plain and simply just looks like effort. So no, look, there needs to be a fucking firecracker put under Vogel's ass. If this is his fucking forte, he needs to get someone needs to fucking light it up underneath him. Because it's not fucking happening. And if it's because fucking Kevin Young's got too much say, someone needs to fucking light him up too, because the offense isn't fucking working either. So yeah, it's no. So answer is no. Our defensive schemes are shit house, Gavin. They're poorly executed, and it's inconsistently executed.
Justin,
I mean, I don't know what else to say on top of that. I think the effort thing is really the biggest thing for me. You see, how many times a game are we seeing dudes in the corner on the other team taking threes, and we either have nobody closing out or it's a half-assed closeout, and that's never going to do it. I mean, that does it against some of our shooters right now, the way they're going, but generally speaking, the NBA, that's not going to cut it. Whether it's a coaching thing, whether it's a player effort thing, it's something. It's probably a combination. I mean, at the end of the day, if the players aren't doing their jobs, whose job is it to get the players to do their jobs? It's the coaches. And whatever the disconnect might be, or whatever it is in terms of motivation or is it complexity? I can't imagine it's complexity. They've been sitting there dealing with these schemes at this point now for however many months. You think they at least know where they're supposed to be, notwithstanding the fact that, yeah, we've been changing pieces around and what have you. But something has to be figured out. And maybe it was brought up, last week? Maybe it's time for a players meeting, right? Players only meeting. I feel like Devin Booker just needs to fucking rip into these guys at this point. He needs to be like, look. I mean, he did it yesterday on the court, right? He said, "Why are you not running back?" I feel like he needs to sit there and he needs to walk.
Is that what he said? Is that what he said after that bucket?
Yeah.
And he,
yeah. Why aren't you running back?
I was trying to hear that. It's what did he actually say?
He basically said, you fucking turn to the ball over and you don't run back.
Yeah, and he's fucking right.
But
he's absolutely right.
We don't need that when we're fucking down 10, 15, fucking 6 or even 8 points. We need that, and not just from Book. We need it from the Eric Gordons. We need it from the fucking KDs. We need it from Booker. We need it from the guys who are brought in here to fucking to lead the team and lead by example, guys. It's all a part of it. It's just they need to fucking do it and have a fucking meeting if you want or don't, but show us on the fucking court that you give a fuck. Just fucking do it, please.
Right. Well, and that's I feel like that's I feel like Devin Booker needs to fucking get into a room with these guys and say exactly that to each one of them, like to a man.
Yeah.
Because does Book get frustrated out there? Yeah, but I don't think any of us are going to say that Book isn't competing, right? What have we ever seen Book check out, if you will? Have we ever seen Book not hustling? Have we ever questioned Book's work ethic? No. And I think we have the right to question all of that stuff with all of these other guys in that locker room right now. Okay, maybe a couple exceptions, but the majority of them. And really, we have the right to question that with all of the guys who need to be putting forth that effort to do their job on the team. Because look, dude, Devin Booker and KD, notwithstanding the fact that everyone has bad games, but those dudes can score 25 points in their sleep if they really want to, right? But it's what these other guys do that's going to make or break this fucking team. And when those guys aren't running back on defense, regardless of what part of the game it is or what the circumstance is, somebody's got to get in their fucking ear and tell them about it. And look, we talk all the time when Chris Paul was here about how Chris Paul rubbed people the wrong way. I guarantee you, DA fucking hated having Chris Paul as a teammate. But that dickheadedness is kind of what I feel like this team needs right now. And
Yes.
Chris Paul's not here. And the only person I think in that locker room that can do it and it's going to resonate is Devin Booker. Because look, KD, nobody's going to argue that he's not one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But are any of us going to sit here and go, I think KD is, I'm gonna get in your face and yell at, okay, maybe that's a little extreme, but I'm gonna be firm and tell you fucking suck to your face kind of guy. I just don't. Because he's been very he hasn't been quiet about it in his career that he's not the vocal leader kind of guy, which is fine. But now this is when Devin Booker needs to step up and look, take that next leap in your career. You've led by example. You've led on the court. Now fucking get in the ears of your teammates and say this is bullshit because you're here not only for yourself, you're here for every other player in this locker room. You're here for all the fucking fans out there, and you're giving that half-assed effort. Not on my
You look
fucking
at
team.
And it feels like it's the one thing missing from the Kobe and MJ comparisons that we get all the time. And I know he hates it, but them guys wouldn't have fucking stood for this. And they're in the same, and they're from the same tree, the same ilk as what Devin Booker is compared to. But it seems like if he just watched maybe some highlights of MJ and Kobe fucking ripping into their teammates, that maybe it might spark him a bit. I don't know, but it's if he had that fire to that leadership fire, man, the team would be unstoppable. I feel like regardless of a bunch of minimums being the supporting cast, I think it'd be unstoppable because you'd have a whole bunch of guys playing their role and scared not to.
Honestly, I feel like it's like Book needs to hit a breaking point. Like he's doing what he does as he knows how to do it as it's been for his career, right? In terms of being a leader. But you progress through your career. You guys probably both know this because you have careers. You evolve. I'm a lawyer, right? I can be a dick. I think we all agree with that. There was a point in my life where it wasn't so easy for me to be a dick, but I got to a certain point in my career where I was like, fuck it. I don't really care what people say or think at this point because I know I need to get my point across. I feel like Devin Booker needs to find that breaking point. Get to that point where he's like, this is enough, and just.
I've seen it in our fantasy league. I will say that. Outside of that, Justin, I can't say I've seen you be a dick. but okay, radio, I'll take that.
Well, I think
put it this way. I think if you took a poll of people in general that know me, they would probably say, yeah, he can be a dick. But hey.
He could be a dick, yeah. But I think what comes out of that is generally we've got there is a bit of a leadership vacuum at the moment, and it needs to be addressed. And you're right. I think Devin Booker's the only one that can do that, and they need to have that players' meeting so he can call them out, and then he needs to go back to Vogel and go, listen, I've called them out, and when I tell you now that somebody's not pulling their finger out and doing the right thing, and I tell you to get them off the fucking court, you need to get them off the fucking court. because, as you said, Boyd.
That's a whole different conversation. I think that could create a slippery slope, but I feel
Well,
like
that's what
it needs to be
Kobe
less
and
about.
Jordan
I
would
feel
do.
like it needs to be less about Booker saying, "If I'm going to tell you this, you do it," and more
True,
about
maybe.
them being on the same fucking page and seeing the same thing. You know?
If fucking Eric Gordon really wants a bigger fucking role on the team, fucking do that.
Just shots.
Be a
Yeah.
fucking leader. I think Voida put a post up after someone posted that article where it was getting around the traps that he wanted a bigger role on the team, and he put up like one sentence. It's like, well, fucking earn it, or something like that. And I'm thinking to myself, well, yeah, fucking oath.
All right, so Boyd, basically you've spoken for the entire podcast so far, so I need to cut a few things here and move on to the next part. The upcoming games while I'm traveling over to visit Justin and all of our friends over there in the US, which I am damn excited about. Cannot wait.
Very
excited.
We have Houston 12 p.m. Thursday, Charlotte 1 p.m. Saturday, Orlando 12 p.m. Monday, Portland 1 p.m. Tuesday, Clippers 1 p.m. Thursday, and Miami 1 p.m. Saturday, because I don't know whether I'll be able to pod during that time. We'll just go through that. 6 games. The great thing is I've got 2 guys that are going to predict 6 wins, so that makes this one really, really easy. Clean sweep. I actually do think that there's and trigger point was a really good word. I think there's a trigger point that's coming. I just can't see this going the other way where it all implodes. I really think something's going to click soon. Out of these 6 games, because you two will predict the 6 wins, which game does Bradley Beal return for?
I think he's back for the next game.
Because they said he's very close.
I think he's back next game. So I think he's back.
You think he's back against Houston in Houston?
Yeah, had some fucking miracle cure fucking eggnog over the Chrissy period. He's got his fucking fix. He's got his medicine. And he's primed and ready to go.
I'm gonna say Friday. I'm gonna say they wait till we're back home against the Hornets and bring them back then.
Yeah,
Fuck
I
you,
agree with that one.
by the way.
I think that I don't think he'll play Houston in Houston. I think that he'll be back for Charlotte. If he's not back for Charlotte, then I think Orlando. Because that's, although we do have a back-to-back then, so who knows what will happen out of that. But hopefully we see him back then. All right, gents, the stock market, I've gone a bit different today. I haven't added anyone, so you guys are going to be well ahead of the game here. First up, Kevin Young. Justin.
Well, his stock's down. I think that's very clear. And I'm buying because you know what? I don't know much of Kevin Young, but I've heard a lot about him from people that I trust, and I feel like the dude's not the highest paid assistant coach in the NBA for no reason. And things might not be looking fantastic right now, but that doesn't mean that the guy doesn't know how to coach. And I'll say the same thing about Vogel when we get to him. So I'm buying because I think this shit's going to get turned around. It's going to get figured out. And I think Kevin Young still has an absolutely bright future in the NBA. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's a head coach somewhere else next year. But with his stock being as low as it is right now, I'm buying it up.
Boyd?
I think it's down, and I'm selling. I'm selling the fucking lot of it until further notice.
I just bought all of Boyd's stock at a low price.
You did. I'm not sold on this fucking coaching staff at all. But you know what? I don't know the ins and outs of what's going on. I don't know how often he's told to sit on his hands and fucking stick his bib out while Vogel tries to run the offense and do his shit. I don't know. I don't know if he's somewhat handcuffed in some scenarios. Don't know. But as it looks right now and as it sits, I'm fucking they're down, and I'm selling because I would not be surprised if there's a shakeup.
I would be shocked. Absolutely shocked.
Shocked, but not surprised. Shocked and surprised, or is that? Don't worry about me.
I I would be absolutely surprised. So there's no confusion.
But not shocked. But not shocked.
Damn it.
I'm a simple guy. Simple. I'm a nice guy. Simple.
Nice guy.
I think clearly his stocks are down. But I'm with Justin here. I'd be very, very surprised. I know some people are calling for it, and there's a bit of carry on at the moment. I think this team turns it around. Boyd, so do you. So that's why I just can't see that a change is going to happen. I think that we're going to turn around, and we will see his stocks rise once again once this offense clicks and we start to dominate some teams. Okay, Frank Vogel.
Same answer, same reason.
Same answer, same reason.
Yeah, stocks definitely down. I'm not buying any though. I'm just going to be safe on this one. I'll keep it safe, but his stocks are definitely down. Potentially, probably worth buying right now, but there's just a little bit too much risk for mine. Matt Ishbia.
Who's
Boyd.
first?
Me, okay, I'll go. I just feel like Matt Ishbia has done so many good things that his stocks are like they're too hard to fucking knock down right now. And regardless, he's not the guy fucking running the team on a day-to-day basis. So I'm not going to knock his stocks down. But we haven't had him in this segment before, so I'm just going to fucking buy. Because I think ultimately he's going to green light whatever it is that fixes the fucking funk that we're in. And I think that they will continue to soar.
Justin.
I feel like Matt Ishbia's stocks are up, and I'm going to buy all of it, even though they're up. And I'm saying that maybe because I'm not gonna denigrate my future boss. That'd be crazy of me. So.
It's for me. I think I think his stocks have shrunk. They have gone down,
Like
but
none of
they've
us,
only
none
gone
of us
down.
want to offend Matt Ishbia. We're like, they're
They've gone down.
okay,
They've gone down from recency bias because the amount of good that this man's done. So by the fact that they have dropped due to recency bias, I will be buying some because I think that we're going to see those stocks go back up because he just does the right things. James Jones, Boyd.
Yeah, I'm not. Again, he's not really coaching staff, so I'm not going to shit on James Jones. And to be honest, I'd be a hypocrite if I was to fucking shit on him for the off-season moves because all of us guys were frothing over it, but it's just not eventuating. There's something not clicking, and I don't think that's James Jones's fault. I thought still think he done a marvelous job of filling out the roster and getting the right guys. And I feel like I got a brain bleed saying that, but he got the right guys to do a job, and it's just not getting done. So they're level, but I'm not buying because we all know that the fucking top guys' heads seem to roll. So I'm not buying.
I think you hit the nail on the head there, Boyd, when you talk about the offseason and how we all looked at it. I think you're right. If we sat here and we were like, oh, his stock's down now, he hasn't really had to do anything right during the season. Nor do I think there's anything that he can or should be doing at this juncture, if I'm being completely honest. So yeah, I would say it's flat. It might be one of those like situations where like it's not currently being traded on the market. It's just but if it were, I'd guess I'd not buy either, just because whatever I had from beginning of the season, I'll just hang on to. I don't know. Again, I don't know if I've bought the stock before, so. But he's flat, and I'm not buying.
Yeah,
anything else.
Right now in Suns Twitter land, his stocks are through the floor. He is on the chopping block with our mates Frank Vogel. His stocks have plummeted in Phoenix World. I don't think they've plummeted that much myself, but which makes it a decent time to buy again, because I do believe that the team's going to turn around. So we should be fine. Thank you, gentlemen. Great stock market. A little bit different with people off the court rather than on the court. Let's quickly do our mailbag. Justin, how this works, we've got questions. Effectively, all I need you to do is answer it very, very quickly. You have basically 10 seconds to answer.
Okay.
Question one is for you, Justin. Did you think when he came into the team that Grayson Allen would become everybody's favorite player?
100%. I absolutely did, because he was immediately my favorite player. And if you look at my Twitter history and references of Grayson Allen, you would not have thought that. So if a change in uniform could change my mind about him, then it can change everyone's mind.
Very well said. Boyd, has KD checked out? You've pretty much already answered this one, but
Nah, yes.
Let's do this one again.
yeah, let's do this one again. Justin, has becoming point. No, we've done this one. I'm going to leave that one too. Justin, should the Suns make a trade before the deadline?
Yes, if the right trade comes along. I mean, look, I'm sitting here saying how I think this is going to turn around, right? So I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, we need to make a trade at the before the deadline in order to turn around, because I really don't think that we do, as I sit here right now. That being said, even if we were to turn it around and things are looking good, if the right trade comes along, then you got to listen, right? So if I have to say, do we need to? No. Am I open to it? Sure.
Very well answered.
Thank you.
Boyd, what do you think about the overall vibe of this roster?
Shit house.
And that will finalize the mailbag.
Hold on, wait, can I ask one?
Well
Hold
done.
on. Can I ask one?
Yeah,
I saw this on
Go
Twitter
ahead.
today, and I screenshot it, and I was like, I should bring this up. Hold on. I actually think it's kind of a
Straight
ridiculous
to me.
question, but it seems like there's an easy answer, but maybe not. If someone offered you $10 million to never watch another NBA game for the rest of your life, would you do it?
How much?
$10 million.
No, I wouldn't.
Yes, I
Boyd?
would. I'd fucking do
Yeah,
it.
Yeah, me too.
And
I
I'll
love the Suns, but I love money more. Not gonna lie.
I do love money, but fact of the matter is that it is one of my pure joys in life, despite how the Suns are performing at the moment. And it'd be like somebody saying to you, for me, it'd be like somebody saying to you, "Hey, would you give up one of your children for $10 million?"
Hey,
Hold on. Hold
hey,
on, though.
Justin,
Hold on. It's not like the
Justin.
Suns don't exist anymore and I can't follow them. I just can't watch the games. I'm going to the parade
Hey.
still. Hey.
Hey, Justin, you and I.
So it'd be like you living in Australia when we were growing up, where we couldn't watch them. All we could do was follow them in the newspaper. Yeah.
Can't wait for that
Yeah.
newspaper to come out.
Hey, Justin, you and I can sit back in our fucking mansions or on the beach of fucking Hawaii, listen to Bloomers fucking talk us through our and
exactly.
sipping whatever the fuck it is that we want to sip, and just enjoy the fuck out.
Gavin, we'll fly you to a game every year just as a little token of our appreciation for you.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that, and I appreciate it. Maybe you could, with your $10 million, buy shares in the Suns and make some changes. You wouldn't get many shares, but you know,
Exactly. Yeah,
that's $3 billion. All right. Who am I? So we have a guest, obviously representing the guests, Boyd representing himself and doing a really shitty job of it at the moment. Remember the rules. If you answer and it is incorrect, you go to the back of the line. Chat, you are the same. You will go to the back of the line, but let me just tell you, I'm going to give chat. I'm going to allocate chat to Nate today because we have got a guest on the show. So it's number one for 5 points. I played for 5 teams between 2016 and 2022. Phoenix, Houston, Cleveland, Golden State, and Dallas.
Phoenix, Houston, Golden State, and Dallas. Did you say?
Phoenix, Houston, Cleveland, Golden State, and Dallas.
And that's between 16 and 22? Did you say?
Correct.
Okay.
No guesses?
Nope.
No one in the chat wants to have a go? That's great. All right, hint number 2. I was named to the NBA All-Rookie Second Team.
Marquise Chris.
Correct, Boyd. Have yourself
Fuck,
4
that was-
points.
That was just my guess. God damn it, I was thinking. Didn't pull the trigger fast enough.
Well played, Boyd. That's 4 points for you. Hint 3 was drafted by Phoenix in 2016 with the 8th pick. Wore number 0 for the Suns and played 292 games and averaged 18 minutes per game.
That last one would
Boy.
have gotten it. We would have known it from that one.
You would have definitely got it. That hint was supposed to be up a little bit, but I forgot to change it because I was in a rush. Boyd.
I would kill everyone in this room for a drop of sweet beer.
So, Homer, please feel free to tell us anything.
Who do you want to have a beer with, Boyd?
I want to have a beer with Grayson Allen. I want to have a beer with Grayson Allen just on the heels of yesterday and the fact that, I gave him the player of the week just due to consistency, and maybe I can tell him to try and be that guy to fucking bark at other guys when he's dropping 32 fucking points in role players position, fucking picking up fucking 9 boards here and there. Say, mate, you're the fucking leader of this team. You fucking tell him. You tell him. You go coat hanger fucking Luka Doncic. To coat hanger him, just fucking get him out of the game, and you just be the guy. That's what I tell Grayson. He hasn't been a grub this season at all.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping some would come out last night. I'm not gonna lie, if I do have to show a little bit of my dark side. I'm and I just had it up. I'm gonna go with somebody off of Twitter who I've had some interactions with over the past few days that have been really pleasant. At Abnormal Suns Fan. I feel like I've been following for a while. I see his stuff pop up around them, but had some interactions this week. Really enjoyed it. Seems like a good dude. Seems like a like-minded guy. I'd like to sit down, just have a non-alcoholic beverage with him. Non-alcoholic beer, like Boyd loves.
Non-alcoholic beer, yeah. Boyd loves them. They're his favorite. I want to have a beer this week with Becky Hammond because she gets it. Somebody in the Phoenix Suns has to get their hands dirty, and you know what? You just said it there, Justin, that you kind of wanted a little bit of Grayson Allen dirtiness yesterday. I'm the same. Somebody needed to belt that prick, especially after he was gobbing off at the crowd and doing everything else. He said, and I quote, after he hit his 10,000 points, so congratulations for that, Luka, turned around and he said, "Whose house is this?" Now, the minute he says that to our crowd, belt that fucker. Put him into the wall. Somebody roll your sleeves up, get dirty. We need a trigger. I don't care if we get a couple of suspensions out of it. Just somebody belt somebody. We need to go semi-pro on this shit and just go, quick, somebody hit somebody during the ad break or something. I don't care. Just somebody's got to do something.
And, it's a really good point. The physicality on our defensive end. I think back. Remember that game earlier this year where Wemby went fucking nuts on us and we lost during that back-to-back to the Spurs? Yeah. Wemby didn't do that. After that, they went on like a 19-game losing streak, and Wemby wasn't doing well. I won't say he wasn't doing shit, but he wasn't doing that. And I think part of that too is the physicality. It's like the dude's a stick. Like, body him up. Make him feel some of these shots that he's making and see if he's going in there as easy, moving forward. I think the same thing.
Is he going to be willing to take that contact every time? Yeah,
exactly.
Like nobody laid a hand on Luka yesterday. Like
Boyd was saying,
just
make Luka's face red.
Yeah, just give it. You got 6 fouls. Give some away. Like, utilize those to make sure that people are feeling a little bit of contact because opposition teams are doing it to us. They're doing it to us. We've got guys sliding into the bloody stand that holds the basket up.
We need to get here's a far out theory. How about we get all of our deadwood players not performing, minimum guys we can replace in a minute. Just each game against a Western Conference contender, go out and take out their fucking Top Gun player with a fucking
I think that's a bit of a stretch, but
a heinous fucking shot that puts them out for the season. All right. We start getting our funk back when all the teams we have to worry about don't have fucking any cattle. All right. So yeah, and there's cop the suspensions. We'll get some sort of a discount, some sort of
the NBA is going to go. Your players were snipers taking blokes out. We're going to give you a dispensation to sign replacements.
Why don't we just hire
During
hitmen,
their-
boys?
during
That'd
their-
be easier,
Well, if
right?
you're
Like just
suspended
Nancy
for the
Kerrigan
entire
those
season,
motherfuckers.
I'm pretty sure if you're suspended for the entire season, you get some sort of you can fill that.
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty
hole.
sure you can. Mate.
Well,
I'm pretty sure you can. If you get injured
maybe
for
not.
the entire season, you can.
I do
Maybe
appreciate
not,
the
but then just
outside the
wave the
box
prick.
thinking, though.
Wave the prick and then
Yeah.
fucking get someone else.
Anyway, just off the back of Boyd's take,
Time for the flog of the week, and trust me, they are ugly, very unattractive. Google their face when you're done here.
who's your flog of the week, Boyd?
Josh Okogie, not hitting any fucking buckets, not fucking taking them when they're wide open, and just disappointing me. I said last season that he'd hit the 40% three from the for the year from the three-point percentage, and he went through a spurt where he did, as Justin said earlier. But this season, there's just been no fucking purple patch at all so far, and he was at that Pro-Am tournament at the fucking start of the season, got me excited again. And he fucking he was hitting everything in that Pro-Am game, and he scored like 40 points or whatever. I'm like, wow, we are so fucking good this year. And then he comes out and he's got the yips every other game, and he's like I said, he's indecisive, he's not confident, and he's just a fucking black hole on the offensive end. Nah, fuck him. Flog.
That dude needs to play dumb a little bit more. It's like, just stop thinking, man. Just fucking
Yeah,
throw the
yeah.
ball up there. If it's going to go in or it's not going to go in. Those are the two options. Just do it. Or,
Yeah.
or like don't, and just don't be on the court. But if you're
Yeah.
going to be there, take the fucking shot if you have it. That's why you're out there. And if you're going
Yes.
to keep missing them, you're just going to lose your time. So be it. But like, yeah, it's so frustrating watching. Like, you think back to that playoff series, right? I think Dan referred to it as he threw KD a grenade when he had a wide open, like 8-footer in the lane.
Yeah.
It's like he does that every game now. He gets the ball. If he's open on the wing, it's like he pump fakes. Like, there's nobody there, bro. Like, you're not pump faking anybody. You're wide open.
You can do another 5 of them, and there's probably still not going to be anyone there.
Like DA, it's like DA's ghost screen in that one clip on Twitter. It's like that all over again. Like oh, apparently DA rubbed off on JO in a wrong way.
Justin, who's your flog?
My flog, I'm gonna go with. I mean, I hate to do this. Not really, but like most of Sun's Twitter, like that's my flog. Like this week.
Yeah.
I love everybody out there. I really do. But like, come on, y'all. Like, run with that Woj shit without hearing anything from KD. Fucking talking about KD wanting out and all that. Like the way anything like mountains out of molehills, right? That's what Twitter's all about. I feel like this week has been maybe the worst. And like, I guess I get it, but I fail to understand people that. Maybe this is a flaw of mine. Operate surely off of emotion and don't use any logic or common sense. That bothers me, and I feel like I've been seeing a lot of that. I love you all, but you're a bunch of fucking flogs. That's what I'm saying.
Nothing but love, but your flogs.
Oh Jesus, he's first Stu. Don't hurt. Okay, thank you. The emotions I just went through.
Yeah, Chris Drew just almost got flog of the week. That's a fair flog, and it's similar along the lines to mine. My flog of the week is anybody who has predicted that previously that things weren't going to go well, and are now actively cheering for that to be the case.
Hey, you still in here, Coach Evan B?
You're a supporter of the team, for fuck's sake. Can't you enjoy anything in life? Why be so negative about everything and then go, see, told you I was right. Ha, ha, ha. I'm the best. I'm the greatest because I called it. And you guys all suck because you said I was wrong. don't cheer for us to fail. What? Don't be a fan if you're going to do that. Oh, that's a bit rough. I won't say that because I kind of hate people that say that too. But don't cheer for the team to fail. Cheer for them to succeed because that's the important part.
Gavin, allow me. Don't be a fan if you're gonna fucking do that bullshit. There you go. I got you.
Thank you, mate. Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, again, on next watch party, 2nd of February or 3rd of February in Sydney. Make sure you check out the. We'll do up some events. Jump on. Hopefully, we get a great turnout in Sydney as well. Justin, thank you so much for joining us today to fill in for Nate, who's driving back from Warwick back to Brisbane. Where can we find you? Last comments?
You can find me on Twitter at SoSaysJ. You can find our pod at Fan the Flames NBA. Maybe we'll put out an episode again someday. I don't know. It's possible.
By the way, I really loved that your last episode was named "Did you know DA got traded?" That was fantastic.
Hey, because
we hadn't done
Gav's
one
not
since
potting.
Bloom was on. It was ridiculous. Yeah,
Justin, because Gav's not potting while he's over there, if you happen to
I didn't say I wasn't. I said I might not.
Well, if you happen to do a pod to scratch my itch, maybe invite me on.
Okay. Maybe I'll have.
I'm just inviting myself onto your pod, mate.
We'll have you. We'll just do a live one from Gavin's house, and we'll have you on, and I'll just have. It'll be like, and I'll tell Dan and Paul, and they probably won't show up, and then it'll be like a normal Aussie Suns Fans podcast again.
Fanning the Flames Aussie style. Boyd, where do we find you? All that sort of stuff.
You can find me at Buds83 on the Twitter, or at Mudguts on a mystery platform. It's not Threads, everyone. Stop messaging me and ask me if it's Threads. It's not Threads. All right.
Nobody's messaging you to try and find you on a mystery platform, mate. Literally nobody is messaging you. Nobody gives a flying. There's not this big thing out there where people are hunting mystery platforms to find them.
I'm my own hype man. Let me go. Let me fucking breathe, man. Let me be.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you spread your wings and fly. I get it. Follow us at Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter, at Aussie Suns Fans on Facebook, I guess. Aussie Suns Fans Podcast on Facebook. At Aussie Suns Fans on Twitter. At Aussie Suns Fans on YouTube. Like, subscribe, do all that sort of stuff. Send us messages. Do whatever it is that you need to do. We'll be around. I will see you all in the US in 3 short days. Well, 4 your time, 3 I leave in mine. Leave on the 30th at lunchtime. Get there on the 30th at 8 in the morning. Cannot wait to be over there seeing and catching up with all of my friends over there in the US and in Phoenix in particular. Going to get to 3 games out there, so pretty damn excited about that. And
blah blah
of course,
blah.
While I'm over there, Justin, I won't be there to fuck spiders.
As Chris Paul gets in, another wide open 3.
Pierre Cardin.
Defers to Booker for the long range.
Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a thing. Phoenix. Phoenix Suns, and you know we up next. Yeah, we working for that championship ring. We the Valley, it ain't nothing but a